Stop me if you've heard this before, but the Mahomes-led Kansas City Chiefs are currently the #1 offense in the NFL. Despite a reshuffling in personnel, Andy Reid has his unit running as efficiently as ever, carving through their schedule to the tune of 30 points a game, and once again sitting atop the AFC conference. In a year defined by passing game struggles, the Chiefs remain as dominant as ever, and teams are going to come looking for answers. So, what have they been up to? Let's find out. The decrease in the league's passing output this season has been in large part due to a wide-scale adoption of the Fangio Cover 6 concept. Mahomes was a victim to this last year, and as we've seen these looks become increasingly more prevalent, the league has struggled as a whole. However, the Chiefs have found a way to beat it. But first, a recap on how it works. Starting with a too-high shell pre-snap, the aim is to always shut off the deep ball first, trying to make quarterbacks stay patient and play underneath. The Fangio 6 often plays with the corners high and off too, signaling a 4-high look and encouraging the checkdown. The defense plays split field principles, playing cover 4 to the passing strength side of the formation, and cover 2 to the weak side. This grants vertical protection to where the strength lies, while maintaining flat and inside help if the offense goes underneath. The weak side will play cover 2 in its base form, but they may also call man or solo lock depending on the offensive formation. The Fangio 6 works so well because it always appears to give you an extra man. You can outnumber passing concepts easily, and with rules for covering crossers and floods, offenses have been shut down. For a more detailed look, please watch our 49ers video. To counter this, the Chiefs have pushed their offensive splits to the limits, repeatedly lining up in 1-4 splits, aiming to counter the numbers advantage. When we talk about the split, we're talking about the share of skill position players on each side of the center. When a defense lines up, they'll check the split and line up accordingly, labeling the outside guy to each side the 1 and then counting inwards. While 1-4 splits are common in college, the formation rule that requires 7 men on the line of scrimmage and both tackles to be covered in the NFL makes their use far more infrequent. That is, until this year. Lining up in a 1-4 against the Fangio 6 negates the numbers advantage to the quarter side, as there is no longer an extra man to defend the concept, making passing actually viable. Whether that be slicing them open by picking on the space in the zones underneath, or getting tricky with deep routes and crossers to open up space. Here it is from a bunch look against the Titans, with Justin Watson motioning back and forth to help identify the coverage. It's the cover 6 with quarters to the 4 split side, and the Chiefs have a great call to beat it. Using the motion, Watson will run out to the flat as the Chiefs roll the pocket into a spacing concept. The threat of Juju, Kelce, and Pacheco potentially running into zone has 28 too narrow, and Mahomes can fire a fastball to the flat for easy yards. Once again, the Chiefs will use motion to help identify the defense, again forming a 1-4 split, and with nobody following Kelce, this is zone. The Chiefs use play action and a nice release by MVS to hold Kenny Moore inside and not allow him to get out to protect his zone. And now Brandon Facyson is high load on the smash concept. He has to drop to contain the corner route, and Mahomes once again rips it to the flat to get the first. Of course, if you guard out to the flat too hard, Mahomes can pick you apart on curls inside, but modern defenses are very much willing to give up the flats, seeing them as the hardest place to hit and using the extra time it takes to get it there to rally for the tackle. However, the numbers advantage from the 1-4 split combined with Mahomes' cannon arm means these are free yards for the Chiefs offense. When teams do push down and become more aggressive, turning their deep zones into a flat cover 2, the Chiefs can then fire over the top. Here, they bring Juju on the orbit motion, bringing him round the running back and Mahomes before swinging him out as if it was a screen. However, this is just to suck up the zones, with MVS running a wheel off the fake block, and Mahomes finds him with a pinpoint touch pass. If you want to manufacture a long bong from this, you can always tuck in the formation and create a wall for the shot play. Here they are in a 1-4 split but from a condensed bunch look, leaving Noah Gray, Jody Fortson, and Isaiah Pacheco in to block, running a deep crossing concept. MVS runs a deep post, aiming to clear the space for Kelce on the over. The Jaguars don't have any crossing rule adaptations called on Kelce, and he runs wide open between the levels, with Mahomes finding him fast, allowing for the catch and run. Rewinding, focus back on Valdez-Scantling. You can see the corner covering him runs with him like he's in man, and this is called solo lock. On the backside of a cover 6 and cover 4, if there's just a lone receiver to mark, the corner will often match up one-on-one, not allowing him to operate in space or catch a quick, easy ball. However, you can use this to your advantage. If teams play this when they see a 1-3 split, they're almost certainly playing it versus a 1-4 split, guaranteeing you a one-on-one matchup. And by switching your chess pieces around to the solo side, you can choose that matchup. Here it is against the 49ers. Noah Gray motions to create a 1-4 split, and you can see Hufanga, Warner, and Ward communicate to shift the zones and lock the coverage to men on the backside. Mahomes, however, loves the matchup against Ward, throwing a dart to Juju on the slant. And here it is against the Chargers. Kelce returns motions to give intel, but still forms a 1-4 split. And look at the space backside for the slant, with the defense focused heavily towards the quad. A quick slant guarantees inside leverage, and Mahomes delivers this gift wrapped up with a bow, right between the numbers. Defensive coordinators aren't just going to let their zone get picked apart all day, and in fact will back out of zone altogether quite often when they see these 1-4 splits, opting to play man instead. However, with 4 guys in a confined half-field space, picks and rub concepts are easy to manufacture. When wanting a 1-4 split that can beat man coverage, Reid will often call a bunch set, something notoriously difficult to play in man. Kelce comes in motion here to create the 1-4 set, completing the bunch, and with Trevon Moehrig following him, we know this is man coverage. The ball is snapped as Kelce forms the bunch, and he'll use the front stack releases to pick 25, flowing out as if he's continuing his motion to the flat. Moehrig fights hard through the traffic to chase 87, but Kelce simply cuts back inside on the Texas route, leaving him wide open, and that's touchdown Chiefs. And here in the open field, Kelce is even more dangerous. Again from the bunch set, the Chiefs will run a beautiful split route concept, creating a rub. Watch Kelce at the top of the route freeze Asante Samuel Jr. to the spot by shifting in and out of gears, creating more than enough separation for Mahomes, and any tackle takes at least 5 yards to get him down. And here it is again, tearing apart the Raiders' man coverage. They motion into the 1-4 set, snapping the ball as Hardman passes Mahomes, and both he and McKinnon will release behind the wall of Kelce and Juju. The motion causes the numbers count to get all sorts of messed up for the Raiders, and there's no clarity on if they're switching or playing straight up, with the quad crossing pattern leaving Mahomes with 3 open options in the end zone. Crazy. We've seen the Chiefs use a lot of motion to gain information on the defense, and this includes starting out in the 1-4 set, then motioning away from it. Here, they start in the tight bunch, sending Mecole Hardman on the motion to the weak side. The backers shift, revealing its zone, and Mahomes takes advantage of the speed to flat off the motion, finding Hardman before Matt Milano can get wide enough to stop it. And here it is later in the game, with some masterful work from Kelce to read the defense. Again, the Chiefs will start out in the 1-4 split, but this time bring Juju in motion, and again, with nobody following, this indicates zone. But with the slower Juju not sprinting across, the Bills keep the quarters to the play strength. Kelce is reading this, and seeing the corners high and the backers shifting, knows he's seeing the cover 6. He pushes his stem hard to make sure to keep the safety in a back pedal, before hooking into the space in the intermediate level. Mahomes is in sync, rifling the ball to move the chains. One of the other major advantages provided by the 1-4 set is its ability to simply outnumber the opponent, and the Chiefs are more than happy to get their playmakers the ball in space. The natural way to do this is to throw quick screens and take advantage of that numbers game early, catching defenses expecting a traditional set and outflanking them with the numbers advantage. Here's a creative design that we love, spreading out the 1-4 and then motioning into a diamond set. CEH will motion in a full sprint back towards Mahomes, but on the snap stops all his momentum, catching a quick screen and heading back outside around his blockers. The Raiders get all sorts of muddled, and Edward-Helaire gets the edge in the first down. The Chiefs have taken particular advantage of the numbers matchup with their RPO series. The 1-4 split provides an even greater numbers disparity when trying to line up to guard it, and it's simply up to Mahomes to count the box and pick the correct location. Here, the Chargers have just 3 men out guarding the bunch, and there's no one down to fight the releases, allowing a quick screen to Kelce to outflank them, and Brandon Staley's edgeless defense continues. If teams overcommit to the passing calls and quick screens, Mahomes simply hands it off into the light box for easy yards. Here, the Chiefs will motion to a 1-4 set with Gray motioning from tight to form a bunch. And look how this affects the box. Fred Warner shifts with it to make sure the numbers are correct to cover anything out quick left. But this leaves just 5 on 5 in the box, and Dre Greenlaw as the only second level defender. Seeing this, Mahomes simply hands it off, and all CEH has to do is beat Greenlaw to the edge to find open grass, avoiding a late tackle from Hufanga for the score. The Chiefs have looked mighty effective running the ball over the last few weeks, especially when they can get Pacheco in space in this set, so expect to see this become even more common with CEH now on IR. And one last call from this set, and maybe the most frustrating aspect of trying to stop this offense, and that's Mahomes' legs. Again, the motion forms a tight bunch in a 1-4 set, this time with Sky Moore being the swingman. The end stays inside to protect the run, and Mahomes doesn't like the numbers option inside, looking to the swing. However, Kermit doesn't like this option either, fearing a corner jump or illegal lineman downfield, so pump fakes the safety and cuts upfield himself. And this is the tale of the tape. Even when you play perfectly and cut off all the options, Mahomes just extends the play and ruins your perfect call. Here's a more standard set against Tennessee on 3rd and long, and the Titans will pose a cover 2, dropping into a deep version of the cover 6, trying to make Mahomes force a tricky one. The weakest link in the chain on offense is Andrew Wiley at right tackle, and that is indeed where the first pressure comes from, forcing Mahomes out of the pocket and bailing right. Anything past the sticks worth aiming for is covered, so Mahomes just keeps extending, and keeps extending until he spots a fault. All 6 coverage men have flooded this side of the hashes, and a cutback is on. Mahomes dashes out of the 2-arm tackle and can only be brought down after gaining the first. Everything was perfectly played until Mahomes spun his magic. And here's the legs combined with the arm, using them to avoid the rush and get off a ridiculous ball. Back in the 1-4 set, and this time the Chiefs have called a mesh concept. It's against a cover 6, so the mesh should part the zones, leaving the whole player open. Switching to the end zone view, you'll see Max Crosby immediately beat Wiley around the edge, forcing Mahomes to step up right at the top of his drop. But this just puts more pressure in his face, forcing Mahomes to again step around pressure. Then, with Chandler Jones flying in for the hit, he somehow bends it round him with just his arm, putting it right between the ones on MVS's jersey. And this is before we even get to the pure bullshit plays. To us, these make it incredibly difficult to write about Mahomes as an individual. Because how do you even explain this? Everything's locked up in the 4-4 zone, so Mahomes just keeps extending, pirouetting backwards to buy even more time, and then while running right, flicks the ball full speed sidearm to McKinnon for the long 3rd down. There's no way to defend this. And the greatest unfairness of them all is that they have 2 guys who can create something out of nothing. Back to the mesh against the Raiders from the 1-4 split, and Travis Kelce tells Mahomes he won't be outdone. The mesh actually opens up Hardman for the score, but Crosby once again forces Mahomes to react and bail by forcing Wiley back into his face. Mahomes looks for his favorite target, who has of course found a soft spot to get open, and then watch the runner's vision from Kelce. He immediately pivots on the catch back against the grain, knowing everybody has over-pursued to cover Mahomes, and there's gonna be an open alley. 2 defenders chop at his legs, but that's not enough to get him down, as Kelce makes the score out of nothing. And he's able to do this in the biggest of moments too, once again beating his man on 3rd and long, and then showing us why he's one of the best run after the catch threats in this league. Setting up 2 blocks and putting the safety on skates all in one shimmy as he takes it in for the Chiefs' first lead of the game. The combination of Kelce and Mahomes means every single down has an opportunity for a conversion, no matter the difficulty or circumstances they find themselves in. The NFL works in cycles, and the Chiefs aren't the only team to notice the effect of the 1-4 set. but they are the team who have taken advantage of it the most, making them a huge part of their game plan, and thus are currently having the most success on offense in the league. While talent plays a large role in this, there is no doubt these creative alignments are giving the Chiefs an advantage and a way to combat a defense that's plaguing everybody else. The NFL is a copycat league, and teams are definitely coming to steal the Chiefs' homework. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out our video on the 49ers defense, or how Miami has found ways to beat the 2022 defenses. Take care.